Well,
We are live.
we're live again.
I think we're back.
We are back. Let us know if we are live, and let us know if the sound is fixed. Do you think would it be because the phones? We've too many phones in here.
No, I don't think
No. How does it sound on the earphones?
so. Sounds fine to me.
Okay. So if anyone can let us know that we are good to go with the sound. The last thing you want is bad sound in this.
It's sometimes we just have shit happen.
Shit
Sometimes
happens.
shit happens.
Shit happens, as
Yeah.
Forrest Gump would say.
Yeah, you get a. You might end up getting a gremlin in the technology.
We might.
So-
Mm-hmm.
Rachel says it sounds good now. Anyway.
Sound is good. Where's the comments there? Oh, very good. Okay. I am going to try and find
Okay, so we're going to go back to your surprise.
Chris. As I was saying, anyone that knows me or has been on any of these podcasts, the odd time I will mention horse racing and the love of horse racing that I have. Being Irish, I suppose it is second nature. And Chris has just bought me a share in a horse by See the Stars, one of my favorite horse races of all time, and in my opinion, one of the best, if not the best, flat horse, trained by John Ox, ridden by Mick Kinnan.
Yeah.
A few years ago. How many years ago is that now? Be 10 years ago?
I was going to say more. 18.
No,
19?
it's not. It's not.
You sure?
Yeah, because I was living in Knock when he won the Arc.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
In fairness, he's started a few horses as well. So, yeah, look, hopefully there's a bit of luck out of him. I have a
Excellent.
few shares in him myself.
Wow.
Um,
That is class. I look forward to that for 2024, and hopefully, if he's with Skelton, he's probably going to go over hurdles or bumpers.
so he's had a couple of
Flat. I see that. I read that
races.
as we were.
Yeah, so he's had a few flat races. He's going to go over hurdles. Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Chris, and I will read that properly after we do this live. So, for anyone that's watching, how is the new year going for you? I hope it's going well. It's very hard to get motivated.
It's been tough, hasn't it?
It's been very tough.
Flat,
I see that. I read that. Very hard to get motivated this year. I think I didn't do the run on New Year's Day like I usually do, and I will do that hopefully before January is out for Cancer Fund for Children. But I between the live shows and I got a mad bad dose leading into Christmas, and I just had enough energy to do the shows, and I just knew that I wouldn't be able for the marathon. I probably could have done it, but it would have been in complete sufferance.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they want. Maybe they want to see me suffer.
That's what I want.
I know that's what you want.
But that's our kindness.
Yeah, but that's also people donate more when they think that you're actually in pain.
Which, in fairness, that we learned from the first run.
Yeah.
Where you were talking so positively, just
Yes.
trying to get through it, that it
Yeah.
wasn't as effective because you were like, "How are you getting on, Steve?" "Oh, I'm getting on great."
yeah. Instead of telling the truth. Oh, actually, the first run was grand. The first day we done the 93k. That was grand. That was from Dublin to Mullingar. That was 93k. But I tell you what, the second day was tough, and the third day was very tough as well. And I think that's probably where the funds started coming in when people seen us suffer. Not just me, but Pete as well. Pete done every inch that I done. Pete done as well.
100%.
But yeah, it was all good. It was all good. But I definitely missed that start of the year, doing the run, and it's been just tough. It's been just tough getting the mind back in focus. It's been tough getting the motivation for doing the run, doing the training. But I'll get there. I think I'm the better side of whatever dose that I had in the last couple of days. So done a few live shows. They went very well. The live show in Castlebar with Alan Clark. You were at that, weren't you?
I was.
Yeah, that was a good show. A nice way to end the run into Christmas. 2,200 people, full house again. Fair play to Alan Clark. He knows how to put on a show. We went out. I probably done more in that show than I did with any of other Alan's shows. I was on for the entire first half wasn't it?
That's right.
Yeah. I was joined on the stage by Mickey Hart as well, the Eurovision contestant for Ireland.
Yeah, he was in the
Um,
mix. Nice fella.
lovely fella, lovely fella. Only met him like 20 minutes before the show. Had to pretend that I never met him, didn't know he was in the crowd, but of course that was all part of it. And he came up then, and we had a bit of a game, we had a bit of a chat, and actually that was as good as the actual stand up itself.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was good crack.
that was good crack.
It was very good crack. So that was that show. I had a great old chat. I didn't actually go out drinking afterwards because, as I said, I had a bit of a dose, and I wanted to be fresh enough for Christmas Day. Kids and that, you know yourself, you have to be somewhat sharp. And I don't actually drink much over Christmas. Anyway,
Yeah, I'm myself and yourself take the same approach
Yeah.
to Christmas.
I drink enough during the year.
Yeah, and then I had a couple of nights out before the Christmas,
Yeah,
and that kind of by the time Christmas Day came around, I was fucking gone. Like,
yeah. Plus, as well, like I mean, you're drinking around the house. You're drinking.
yeah,
You're drinking. I don't know. You're drinking with family, and that's always can turn out to be a dangerous thing.
pain in the arse.
Yeah.
That's what it's.
It can be a dangerous thing. Drinking with family, and especially when you're confined to the house and it's a long day. Next thing, something might be said, taken out a turn that you wouldn't normally take any heed of, or they wouldn't take any heed of, and suddenly then you're out in the garden baiting the shite out of each other.
Yeah, that's very much so. I'll go through some of these comments.
Yeah.
Rachel Coyne says that it sounds good now, which is
Great, excellent.
always good to hear.
Sorry about
Thanks,
that.
Rachel. Yeah, that was some gremlin in the machine.
These things happen.
Yeah, Barry Rush says all good now. Swagger Bure is in the mix. Cardinal Love Flanagan said sound is class now. You do have an Irish accent for some reason though. LeBeau, just kidding.
Well,
Well,
you don't have an Irish accent.
well,
I have an Irish accent.
That type of bullying.
He is an
won't
English
be-
accent.
That type of bullying.
He's a Brit.
Won't be, that
He's a
type of
Brit.
bullying won't
Yeah.
be fucking accepted.
Tolerated here. Yeah. You're lucky I'm allowing you into the studio at all, Chris.
Who found the place?
Um,
Who owes who here?
Listen, he might have an English accent, but he's Irish at heart. Isn't that
I'm
right, Chris?
actually you get vexed now with this shit. Right. But anyway,
Subtle digs.
positive energy mod. Happy New Year. Sound is good, lads, which is good.
Excellent.
Jack Walsh says, like the hair, he must be talking to me.
Yeah,
'Cause, you know, I go to a very special barber. He sorts me out.
he does indeed.
Um,
Every morning.
Karen McCarthy goes, "Where are ye?" A guard wouldn't ask you that.
We are in
Our studio.
our studio, somewhere in the west of Ireland.
Yeah,
That's all you need to know
that's all that.
for now.
Kent Walcott is in the chat.
Oh,
Good
thanks,
man,
Kent. Sorry about the start of that, Kent.
And Bernice Mellon says, well, what's the crack, lads?
Oh, thanks, Bernice.
And positive energy mod, that hair though, cowboy by day, blondie by night.
Yeah, I love it. This is my alter ego. I'm gonna come out in 2024 as being a drag
trans.
queen. Yeah, that's my new act for 2024. I'm gonna turn into who else does that? Keith Lynn? No, Eddie Izzard.
Eddie Izzard, yeah.
Yeah, that's my new. I'm gonna copy his route.
Hey, it works. It works. Cardinal Flanagan, super chat.
Thank
in
you
the
very
mix.
much,
What
Cardinal.
a man. $10.
Thank you so much.
Very much.
That's a good start.
Cardinal is
2024.
a good solid bro.
He is.
He must like the
Wait.
fact that you might be going trans.
Maybe if the pink pound.
Cardinal, enough of those fucking
Listen,
super
I will
chats
put on
and
a bra.
your Fucking
I will put on a bra if there's another super chat comes in. And no, I will tell you what. I will take off my t-shirt to reveal a bra.
yeah. That wouldn't be the first time.
If I don't lose a bit more weight or stop putting on weight, I will need a bra.
Alice Glynn says, loving it, guys. Thank you very much,
Thanks,
Alice.
Alice.
And any pints so far this year? I've been sick.
Yeah,
so-
and I'm only coming out of a dose. I really want to grab. I really want to grab 2024 by the horn, or the horns even.
really, you're taking this trans thing serious.
Yeah. And I want to be fresh. Have I had any pints? Yeah,
Right.
loads of them. No. I've been pretty easy on it. I think I've had 4 drinks since
Yeah.
New Year's Day.
I had
Since New Year's
I had a
Eve.
hot whiskey on New Year's Eve.
I've had two hot
And
whiskies, a brandy and port to try and shift this dose, and I had 1 pint of Guinness.
Yeah.
So
I haven't tackled the night out in ages.
I know. But you had a couple of nice ones over the.
Joe, they were great.
Yeah. Well,
Really
if
enjoyable.
you're going to do it, after Christmas, the week before after Christmas, before the New Year is the time to do it.
Yeah, I had 2-3 nights out before Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Like that lead in. That was and then Stephen's night, the night after Stephen's night, and then I was done.
Yeah. But then you got the dose. What happened to me was, if you've watched the podcast from New Year's Day or Christmas Day, I went out and I had 2 nights in Dublin. I was at the Cage Legacy on the Friday night, and then I done a gig on the Friday night in the Button Factory with the Rattling Kind and Eddie Sherlock, and then on the Saturday night I went to Cage Legacy. I was a guest at Cage Legacy, and then we went to the Black Forge, and I was drinking with Conor McGregor and his crew, and I didn't get home until like 6 in the morning. You can imagine the crack. And the next day, I just had a dose, just bad, and it was nothing to do with like going to the pub or anything. It was just I picked up some sort of dose over them 2 days, and it kittled me until I managed to pull it together for the Alan Clark show.
Yeah.
And that was grand. And then I took it very easy until I done the show in Erris with Garen Noon on the 29th, which reminds me, we're going to get Garen Noon in for a live podcast one of the days if I can drag him up from Ballina.
Hard man to get out.
It would be a hard man to drag up as well.
Yeah,
So
it's
he
true.
was.
I'm going to put something special into the chat.
Oh yes, something that you've been working on over the last few days.
So in the chat, I have a special link for anyone that's watching the live at the moment. It's for some merch.
For some merch, yeah.
This is the first launch of it. Just a limited editions to bit of merch. If anyone wants to buy any of the merch from the
There's a
Creamy Pints I'll Never Stop series.
Yeah. And we're going to keep adding to it. Chris has been working on this over the last couple of days. Fair play to him. I kind of didn't know that it was actually live. I thought he was just working on prototypes. So if anyone is interested in, which they have been, I know that Jack Walsh kindly brought stuff to me on the Claire Morris show gig, hats, and I just love them. So I want to replicate them and get them up onto it's like Shopify. Yeah. It's like Shopify. I'm sure you've seen them on some of the videos that I've done or sketches over the last few days as well. There's a couple of different baseball caps. There's beanie hats. I wanted to do some rave hats for the summer. Yeah. People are crying out for the $3 left stout pint glasses. Now they're harder to get than you actually
really
think.
They're probably something we're going to have to source and then send out individually.
Yeah. But, or sell them at the live shows. The problem with selling them at the live shows is some theaters won't let them in. Other theaters, well, a lot of theaters won't let them in, or venues won't let them in because they're glass.
The glasses, yeah.
And they get broken in transit. They get broken on delivery. They get broken. So they're very hard to.
There's ways around that. And what we'll do is maybe throw in a T-shirt or a T-shirt pint glass combination.
Yes, great idea.
But yeah, look, guys, if the stuff that we have there, we're going to be changing things around and moving things around. So if you like what you see there, it'll only be there for a short while. And anyone that does buy a T-shirt or anything like that, really appreciate it.
Really appreciate it, yeah. Because believe it or not, well, I don't believe it. Well, I do believe it, but I couldn't believe the amount of people messaging in. Where can we get that hat? Where can we get them pint glasses? It's just, and it keeps getting bigger and bigger. Some people love buying merch.
Yeah.
They love buying
and in fairness,
all the editions of it.
We're very lucky that people want to support us.
Yeah, of course.
Which is great. We will be doing some Dead Hedgehog stuff, and
Dead Hedgehog stuff, $3 left stuff, Creamy Pint stuff, Stay Away From Yourself stuff, the whole works.
So look, we'll be putting pieces together over the next couple of months. But yeah, look, go to that link. There's a few more messages in. Rachel goes, has there anyone in Ireland that's not been sick the last couple of weeks?
I'd say everyone has got some
some sort of
Very few haven't. Magella,
Jella, how
Happy
you
New Year.
keeping? Happy New
Happy New
Year.
Year to you. I'd
Um,
take you up on that offer of having a few quiet nights away.
so
That
what's your
sounds
trans name gonna
that
be?
sounds
Stefina.
Stefina, yeah.
Stefina.
That sounds wrong, Magella, but you know what I'm talking about. I don't know. I think we'll come up with a better name than that. Stefina is a little bit.
Stefina Cowboy Stefina.
It's a little bit obvious.
Stefina.
No, we Stefina. Now you're
Stefina.
talking.
Ah,
That's
yeah.
a good one. Stefina. I bet no one's ever come up with that one. Where was I? Where was I in the chat before you interrupted me?
We'll keep on going with the comments. My whole house was down with that dose. It's still going around. Yeah. Did you watch the darts? So good. Your man Luke Littler.
Yeah,
Whoa, what a
I watched a little bit of it. I was busy doing things. I had my two boys as well while the final was on, and I brought them down to. Well, I call them boys, but they're men now.
They sure are.
I brought them down to Wicklow for a couple of days. It's not often I get one-on-one time with them or one-on-two time with them. And we went around Wicklow, which is an absolutely beautiful county in Ireland. I always said that Wicklow would give Kerry a run for its money, and it's smaller than Kerry, so it's easier to get around. In saying that, I'm down in Kerry next week for 3 shows with Fred Cook.
Sure
Tickets
is.
are flying. Tickets are
But
nearly gone in Dingle,
anywhere along
Tralee.
the west coast is
It
amazing.
is, yeah, 100%.
Like I know Kerry gets an awful lot of traffic down there
It does.
with tourism.
It does.
But like you go to Clare's amazing. The coast of Limerick's amazing. Mayo, like up where my mother's from, is fucking unbelievable.
Yeah, that is true. Far
So,
side of Belmullet,
yeah,
crazy.
it's so beautiful. And then Donegal, which is a
Donegal,
different country,
another beautiful
It's
county.
unbelievable.
Yeah, even Sligo and Clare, I think are the
Sligo's
Sligo and
beautiful.
Clare are the two most underestimated counties
Yeah.
in the entire country. Sligo has everything, again, so close to each other.
Yeah.
Sligo is not a massive county, but it has so many beautiful things in it, so many forests,
Sligo's
lakes.
a good night out. as
Oh, it's a
well.
great night out.
Yeah.
Some brilliant bars, some brilliant restaurants in Sligo. And then you have Strand Hill right outside it on one side. And then on the other side, across
Yeah,
the
well,
bay, you have Ross's Point.
That's one thing that's changed over the years, that there's really good places to eat now.
Yeah.
Years
The
ago,
standard of food in Ireland
Incredible.
is incredible.
unreal.
It's and this thing about Irish food is boring. Bullshit.
It's nonsense. Yeah.
Some of the finest chefs in the world are in Ireland, and that I've ate all over the place. And
All the way to England and back.
all the way to England and back. And the food here is as good as anywhere in the world. And that's standard. That's not having to go to the top restaurant in the entire country. That is, you won't get away with bad food in Ireland anymore.
No, like people
No one will
just
go.
don't accept it.
Yeah, no one will go because it's so easy to drive to another restaurant.
Even on stuff like going for a breakfast, right? Years ago, you could slap together a breakfast. People would go, sure, it'll do.
Yeah,
Not anymore.
not anymore. Not anymore. You will not go into a place because there's just too much choice. There's too much choice in 99% of the towns in Ireland. Ken says, I fell in love with the West
The Western area, yeah.
I did not realize that you were in Ireland, Kent. Did we talk about that when we were in New York? We could have talked about a lot of things, and I might have forgotten some of it because I was inebriated.
You sure were. Fair play to you.
Rachel Coyne says, God, I miss the Irish food. That is something that I would miss as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's tasty, it's fresh, it's rich, maybe too rich sometimes, but you know,
but
if you're
like,
going out for a meal, you don't want to be
but like the
thinking
thing
about
is, you've got quality butter,
yeah,
quality creams and milks.
milk, meat,
Everything is grass
cheese.
fed.
Yeah, grass fed.
Like, so you don't like, I know Britain has kind of gone the way of Australia now and almost deregulated some of their food industries because of Brexit.
Right, I didn't know that.
That's what some of the likes of Nigel Farage, that's what they were fighting for years, because they were
To
saying
get
there was
rid of it,
over
to deregulate it.
yeah, because they were saying that there was overregulation from the EU, but like now you can, in theory, have chlorinated chicken that you have in America, in UK, and that's something Irish people just wouldn't accept.
No. We
Right.
like our food. We like quality food. I think there might be a golden spot. Peter's involved in an organic farm. I went a bit of
Yeah.
English there myself. Organic farm, sort of on this tip of South Donegal, the little bit of Leitrim between Sligo and Donegal.
Yeah.
Um,
That touches the sea.
that touches the sea. That's where he has his organic farm. It's not probably the ideal
He
place
bought
for.
Leitrim.
Yeah, he did. He was the only man there during the storm.
Yeah, the tornado of 2023.
And he's finding it tough, but there could be a time when people just turn towards
Yeah.
organic food.
People are more food conscious
Oh, they
now
definitely
than
are.
they were.
They definitely are.
Like, when we were younger, food quality wasn't a big thing. There was just a given that you had Irish grass-fed beef.
Yeah, well, that is true. Well, I said there was also a bit of foreign stuff, or not foreign stuff, but imported stuff coming on. Speaking about foreign, that's a touchy subject these days, which we will get into a little bit later on. Yeah, when we were growing up, I think potato, 2 veg and meat was the staple, and that was it. You went in and you had that slapped up to you. It mightn't have been too bad. You got plenty of it, and you didn't go hungry, but the quality just wasn't in it like it is today. And now you have all types of restaurants all over the gaff. You have some brilliant towns, the likes of Westport, Kinsale, any place in Kerry. The standard is so good because the competition is there.
Yeah.
Basically. So even the Gateway here in Swinford has good food, although Pete won't accept that.
Well, I still think that on its good days, it's very good, and I still think that it has a way to go.
Maybe.
I think its sister hotel in Kiltramore, the Caledon, is nicer.
Yeah. Well, that's down. That's obviously because it's pretty much the
More
same menu.
established, Yeah.
It's a more established, probably a better
Maybe.
run of things, a better kitchen maybe setup. But give it time. I'm telling you, it'll come good.
Yeah.
Where in the west of Ireland did you go, Kent? He's grand to see him farm. Yeah, Pete loves farming. Pete would just love to live outside. He'd love to go off grid. That's why you don't see him much on social media. He absolutely hates social media. And then sometimes he gets in. He'd rather do long form.
Well, that's
long
one thing I wanted to get
acting.
into about social media is
Yeah.
like obviously you've been doing a lot. There's a big difference between comedy on social media.
Oh, massive difference.
And the response to it, and say if you were doing comedy to a live audience in the comedy club, or whatever. Like, first of all, not everyone's gonna get the joke.
No.
Social media.
Just that we're on about the show here. Sylvester is in from the show that was in Claremars. Remember I pulled Sylvester up onto the stage. It was his birthday. Belated happy birthday. Well, we wished you happy birthday on the night as well. That was good crack. I'll get back to them the last 2 shows. I was talking about the Alan Clark show. I'll talk about the other 2 shows in a few minutes. But yeah, we'll keep talking about.
Yeah. So
social
like,
media.
how have you found how have you found navigating that?
You see, the thing is, when I started off the pages, I was banging out maybe 2 or 3 punchlines every video.
Yeah.
There was a start, there was a middle, and there was an end. And what I was doing was I was giving away my best material free of charge, which I didn't mind doing. It built up the page.
Yeah.
And that's 100%. So there has to come a point where I change things up so that the videos that I do now, and that's why the Creamy Pints thing is so easy for me, and it's a social media spinner for me, because a lot of people love it. I could do one a day, and a lot of people would share it and love it and watch it and change them up a little bit. I could do "You're a Cunt" video all different ways, 1,000 different ways, but you can't keep doing it that way either. But you see, the reason I do so many of them is it's traction on the page. Some of them are funny, some of them will work, some of them will land.
Yeah.
If it hits an algorithm, well, then it could go in views into the millions.
Yeah, of course.
Right? But I will do the odd one where I'll give away a little bit of the live show, or stuff that should be on the live show. I'll give it away just and again, it's all free of charge. I don't get anything from any of the videos. So then you'll get trolls in. Oh, you used to be funny, and all this.
Yeah.
No. Well, I'm no more or less funnier than I was 18 months ago or 2 years ago.
Well, you can't learn less.
No, you can't learn less.
So you got to be learning something.
Yeah.
And the amount of like I could tell you this much, 100%, because I can see it from an outsider's point of view. Your improvement has been astounding. It's been amazing.
Yeah, thank you. Chris.
And that's all down to hard work.
Yeah.
So you've done more videos. You've learned what works for you.
Yeah.
And then on the live show front, you're just a bit tighter. Things are a bit smarter.
Yeah.
There's
And
still
slower.
things that
Slowed down.
and slower and kind of punchier. But at the same time, sometimes you try things and they don't work.
Yeah. Well,
that's part of the show too.
It's part of the live show. It's part of. I tried new stuff in Claremorris. I felt some of it didn't work. The crowd seemed to love it. So it's not about what I think as well. We have to keep trying things. And if I keep getting positive feedback, I keep working on something from the live show, and I'll develop it until it becomes perfect. Like we did in 2023, there was some segments in it that just reamed off, and it was always get a laugh. And if you don't get a laugh from that one, you should have another one lined up anyway. Well, then you know you're in the wrong room, because they work 99% of the time, but sometimes they don't work. Just like the videos.
Yeah.
Sometimes a video will work. Sometimes what's in your head and what you think is funny might not translate.
Sometimes it needs to be. Sometimes you have a funny thought, and it just needs to be worked out more. There has to be different angles.
Yeah,
to
different
it,
angles. Just mold it. It's like a bit of pottery.
Yeah.
That you just have to keep molding until you get it right. But you know it's there. I actually went on. I was on a couple of times in Claremorris, and next thing I look down at my watch, and this is the second half. This is probably the third or fourth time I've been on, and I should have probably only kept it to about 26, 27 minutes. And I hadn't even half my set done. I looked down and it was 35 minutes, but that's because I tried out new things. I slowed it down. I was a little bit hungover from the previous show the night before.
Yeah.
And that probably relaxed me. That probably meant that I was able to settle a bit as well. I probably should have been a little bit sharper. There was a couple of things that I could have, like a couple of things that the audience threw up at me, and it was only like 10, 15 seconds later I had a comeback for it, and the moment is gone. You can't go, oh, by the way, you have to be sharp there and then.
Yeah.
But we all got some great feedback from it.
Yeah.
Fred Cook was brilliant. Pete was on fire.
Pete was really good.
Really good. I think
just a solid,
yeah.
Really committed.
I think he had a bee in his bonnet because genuinely he was told not to come back.
Yeah.
By the venue since the last time we done it.
And one thing,
because he came on naked.
This is the other thing I was like, no venue should tell an act.
That's true.
And at the end of the day, if that's the show, that's the show. If that's going to sell tickets, if they don't like that he came out and his bollock fell out, fuck him.
Yeah. I
There's
mean,
other
the crowd, as long as the crowd loves it, that's what matters.
That's it. And
people still came back the next time. There was a massive crowd.
Tickets.
They paid for the tickets. They paid for everything. And you are right about that. I was a little bit annoyed at that, but Pete came back and he tried a different thing, equally as
provocative.
Yeah, provocative. But we covered all the bases.
Like that thing that he was doing was of its time. It got the edge of its.
Yeah, it did. It's definitely.
But
the time. People loved it. Like and some people didn't. There was a couple of venues. There was a couple of audiences that didn't like it.
Fuck it.
Yeah, but you have to keep going with the majority. If that failed 4 or 5 times in a row, well, then you give it up. But it didn't.
Yeah.
It rocked for about 7 or 8 times. Then we might have hit an audience where this particular sketch just didn't work. And that could be a lot to do with our energy.
Yeah,
as well.
Like that's the other thing where it's really hard to be consistent, because every venue is different, every setup is different. You're not going into a consistent setup every time.
Yeah,
and then you might have done the same joke 3 nights in a row.
Yeah, exactly. After the third night, you're like,
and you might be tired.
And tired. It has a lot to do with it as well.
You might have been out the night before.
And that's something that I want to improve on.
You might have got a hair transplant.
For 2024. I might have got a thumb up the bum.
That's
anything.
very likely. Very, very likely.
If I keep wearing this wig, I will. This wig, if I keep having my hair like this, I probably get more thumbs up the bum
You
during
look like you
2024.
could be in Van Halen.
I should be in Van Halen.
No, you couldn't. You would die.
But so where else were we there?
Just the.
Oh yeah.
Trolls,
so what trolls?
yeah.
Trolls. So what's happening is there's like before I came on here, I got a message from this Pat. It's probably a fake profile, Pat Mahan or something like that.
Really, really struck a nerve.
Just telling me to get rope and kill myself.
Yeah.
Like, it's just fucking sad. Like, get over yourself. But this fella he follows
Like,
the page.
Part of me's like, I feel sorry for him. What's going wrong with his life that he thinks that's an.
I know, but he keeps doing it, so it's like a thing for him. And you check out their profiles. They follow like they have about 50 followers, and they follow 1,200 people.
Yeah.
I'm just using this fella as an example, but obviously he's trolling everyone.
Everyone, yeah.
Right? How sad of a life do you have to have?
That's what I was saying. It's
to
always
try and bring other people down. And there's another. Just for example, there's another account on TikTok, and this Dane, right? It's more than likely a fake profile.
But there's
it has no picture. There's no picture.
Yeah, but there's someone at the other end of it.
Of course there is. There's someone at the other end, and just keeps commenting negative follows the page. He's actually one of the. I'll say he, but it could be a she. It could be my mother, for all that matter. Although I don't think my mother would even know how to use social media.
Different.
Yeah, it'd be Eurobollocks. It keeps saying negative things, the same sort of spiel. Oh, will you go and do a day's work for yourself? That sort of shite. And say you haven't done a day's work in your life. I worked 18 hours a day some days, and still do.
And that's only on OnlyFans.
Yeah, and that's only in OnlyFans.
You know.
Yeah. Sometimes I get
that dildo is not going to fucking shag itself.
Yeah. as Stateside would say. Yeah, exactly, Kent. Very sad indeed. I mean, but it's not just me. I see it with other people as well. The lady from Ballinrobe who spoke up against the 50 male immigrants coming in.
Yeah.
From Ballinrobe, she got an hounding on social media, an absolute hounding. We'll talk about that in a while as well.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, she
was doing was sticking up, and they proved themselves to be gracious, and to be to not like they were getting accused of all sorts. And then she was from Donegal, speaking about a place in Mayo. She was there for 23 years. So they attacked her. You shouldn't be there at all. You're from Donegal. Which the irony of that.
I know it's ironic.
The irony of that. It was okay for 50 people that they didn't know.
Yeah.
From a different culture coming in, but she couldn't be there. It was so contradictory. People just shouldn't start typing. Shouldn't start doing videos if they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah,
it's so sad.
Like, look, at the end of the day, there's going to be a mixture of things. First of all, I think she is doing it for what she believes is the right reason. She's doing it for her own community and her own family. And I commend for anyone standing up to it. The way I look at it is that how many of the people that were out protesting would have voted for Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael?
Yeah, well, again,
brought them into power.
Again, and I wanted to finish the social media thing before we went on to that. And we will actually we'll finish the social media thing. So you've them type of trolls, the ones that are really hard, that they try and I'm thick skinned. I'm pretty thick skinned, but there's other people that aren't as thick skinned as I am. And then no matter how thick skinned you are, if you have a bad day, maybe you're a little bit down, it's an anniversary of someone that's passed away, or you've had a bad day, you've had bad news, and you get 2 or 3 of these messages in, and they're in groups as well. A lot of these are in groups, so you'll get 3 or 4 pinged off at the same time. It could even be the same person, just off different accounts. I caught someone out on, I'll tell you this one after this. I caught someone out on Twitter who had 2 different accounts and was having a conversation back and forth to each other.
Wow.
Right. I went in and checked in and done a bit of thing, and it was all from the same Facebook account.
Yeah, of course.
Right. Anyway.
That was your mother, though.
Yeah, that was my mother. I caught her in the kitchen. No. But then you have people coming on saying trying to give you advice, but doing it in a really subtle insult way,
condescending,
condescending way. And they have about, they've about 16 followers,
yeah,
and they're telling you someone. And I'm not saying that having a big followership is the be all and end all of everything,
it's
but
not.
it-
But
it-
it's the
it-
proof that
it's,
people want to watch
exactly.
your shit.
I didn't fall up there. You didn't
No.
fall onto the top of the hill.
No.
You had to work to get there, and you obviously know something what's going on. You get these people trying to give you advice. Now, genuinely, there are some people that will give you advice, and they will usually send it to you in a mess privately.
Yeah.
But then you'll get these people trying to make a name for themselves on public. And I don't mind constructive criticism, and I know the difference between someone that's trying to be condescending
But
and someone that's trying to give you genuine advice.
100%, and
Two different things.
I can attest to that because I've often criticized you.
Yeah.
But not. Well, not.
Yeah, of course,
I've
Chris.
never
And I
gone
would
out of
take
my
it.
way to
I would
crit-
take it because I know that you'd only be doing it
Well,
for the betterment.
Yeah, like they usually. It's usually with a solution.
Yeah.
That's what constructive criticism is all about. If you come in with a solution to a problem instead of adding on
Yeah, exactly.
something that's the
If you're not the solution, or if you don't want to help,
then you are the problem.
then you are the problem. Yeah. Just, scroll on.
And this is it.
Scroll
Turn
on.
change the channel.
Exactly. You don't and the thing is, these people follow the page,
Yeah.
so they're definitely there to try and bring you down,
Yes.
But anyway, that's beside the point. We keep trucking on. If you don't like a video, scroll on. If you want to do constructive criticism, by all means do, but there's a difference between constructive criticism and trying to be condescending. And then if you like the video, like it, make a comment on it, or even don't. As I said in the story today, don't, just enjoy the video. And either way, just go about your day, enjoy your day, stay safe.
And to be honest, I said there's definitely something like, look, anyone that goes on to someone's page and is trolling them, they've got problems, man.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah. When it's constant, and everyone might have a slip up. There's also people that there's a few people that have obviously put in a message after a few drinks,
Yeah.
2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and you might get back to them, and you'll say, "Everything all right?" And then they'll say, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. That's not what I think at all."
Yeah.
They're like, they're like, "I can't believe I said that. I was having a few drinks last night."
I tell you a funny
100%.
one, right? I was fucking steaming one night, and it was the night that Stephen Ireland and the Granny Gate thing happened.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So basically, for anyone that didn't know, Stephen Ireland said that his granny had died, and then a week later, his it came out that the truth came out that she hadn't died, and he
Yeah.
just there was actually a family.
She had a
emergency.
miscarriage.
He had a miscarriage. He didn't want to
The
tell
granny.
the manager.
No,
Yeah.
that's I shouldn't have said that. That's
But
very
yeah,
insensitive of me.
at the time, all that came out was Stephen Ireland lied about his grandmother dying.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
And the assumption
which was
that he just
which is
didn't
a very
want-
sad thing. He didn't exactly.
see the rest of the story never came out at that time, right? So I was steaming with that, and I created a Facebook page, changed Stephen Ireland's name to Stephen England, right? And overnight, it got about 7,000 followers.
No way.
It's just people started getting shared a bit.
Yeah.
And I was like, but the next day I was just like, I deleted the page.
Yeah. Of
Because I was
course.
just like, I was doing it as a joke. Didn't
Yeah,
think that.
never
the next
thinking.
thing, it just boom,
Never
7,000
thinking.
followers overnight on Facebook. Well, it probably wasn't that hard to get followers anyway.
Yeah.
But like that was a piss takey trolley thing to do, and I was younger. I wouldn't do something like that now, but you look at it, you're like, you can see how these things latch on, and look, those people just want a bit of notoriety
Yeah.
within their own little fucking circle.
But I really don't know why the few particular ones, there's like 3 or 4 in particular that keep just
Well, they should be
nitpicking
the
away.
moderators of.
But they
those
get nothing
sites
off
should-
me.
yeah.
Like Farmer Michael, sometimes he does a video about them and he'll show their profile, or he shares their profile picture, or other people do as well. I really couldn't give a fiddler's fuck, and I mean that from the bottom of my hole.
Yeah.
Unless I'm in a really bad day, you might just catch me off hop, and I'm like, oh shit, I didn't need to see that. But in general,
Look, we
I know
could
my
all,
worth.
we could all say stuff
I know
that
my
we
worth.
don't mean, or a joke can go fucking south, you know.
Yeah.
But like,
Ken
that-
said, "I'm sorry, can't get beyond Stephen on OnlyFans. Ladies be draining the bank account. Mightn't just be ladies, Kent. That'd be the
that's
problem.
what Positive Energy said.
The last time
and
I
men.
wore a pair of leather trousers in Galway, I got a lot of attention, and it wasn't the right attention.
I bet.
And I leave it at that.
Were you getting your whole slap?
I get my whole slapped a lot, and it wasn't from the female hand.
The women were watching.
The women were watching. Yeah.
What you got? Manda said, "I've joined a thumb up the bum."
There was a bit of context to that. So
Yeah,
I've only had the
but
thumb up the
doesn't
bum.
need to be.
I've only ever had one thumb up my bum.
What
Once,
was his name?
ever. No, it was my own thumb. I told this story
Oh,
in a
yeah,
podcast
yeah,
before.
yeah. You did.
Yeah.
That was a fair slip.
By complete accident.
Oh
by the way.
yeah.
By complete
Oh
accident.
yeah.
Okay.
I didn't believe it at the time. I don't believe that was an accident now.
I'm telling you, it was a complete.
3 years
accident.
later, you were scrubbing yourself
This
so
happened.
hard.
This happened for 14 years ago. 14, if not 15 years ago. It happened in a bath in Corrandulla in Galway. I was heading out for the night out, and I had time to relax, which I didn't normally do. Even now I don't. But I loved me baths.
You do love a bath.
I love me baths. I had a bath today. I did. For the first time in a long time. After a run. So I was in the bath, and I was going out for a night out, and I wanted to be really, really like squeaky clean. And I got lathered up, but I lathered up a little bit too much. And I was cleaning everything, cleaning out under the ballings and down along the crack with my thumb. And next thing, I was just getting in there, making sure everything was clean, and it slipped up.
You sure did.
Yeah, I'm sure some people have heard this story on the podcast before, but just in case you haven't.
It snuck his way in.
Yeah, it snuck his way in. It went like.
Which way was your hand? Was it this way or this way?
I don't know, Chris. No, it was definitely down this way.
Fucking jiu-jitsu master checking,
like this. So
fucking checking the oil.
It would have been down this way, like, pushing down the way, and then it just went.
That's too thorough. Can I just say too thorough?
Yeah. Well, I'd never give myself such a deep clean before. Pardon the pun.
Well, that was as fucking deep as I was going to get.
James has just came in that conversation now as well about the thumb up the bum. So you're just going to have to watch. You're going to have to watch the entire thing to get what we were talking about. So where were we? Since we got
we won't
distracted by the
won't
thumb up the
go
bum.
on to Ballinrobe from that. That's the fucking
No.
worst. But we can definitely go on to hairy fannies.
We will go into hairy fannies now in a minute, but just finishing off the trolls bit, right? There was this account on Twitter. I put up something about
Can I just
Ballinrobe.
say we lost 2 viewers while you're talking about
Did we?
thumb up your arse.
That, do you know what? I'm not surprised at that. Some people
I'm
don't
not-
like the thumb up the bum talk. No, I don't mind it. I've been that soldier.
You've
But
so
come back to people. We're going to stop talking about the thumb up the bum. So yeah, I'll finish off the Twitter thing, and that'll lead in actually into the Ballinrobe thing. So I put up a thing about Ballinrobe, and I'll actually read it out. So to give you some context.
Yeah, go for it.
And I still want to do a video about Ballinrobe, right? And I will do it, but it'll be a very sensitive one, and it won't be too controversial. It was just my thoughts on it, because I've been asked a lot. And that was another thing. As I was saying, one or two of them people that were on trolling, I set up like not a private, but a personal TikTok account, just for different content other than $3 left. Something like, like a vlog thing. Just when I get a chance, put it up. If I was in Wicklow, I done a video about Wicklow and saying how nice it was. That sort of thing. I've only like 5 or 6 videos on it. It's just Stephen Kelly on TikTok. And he followed over. This fella followed over. Yeah, to troll me on the personal page. And just to say, I was saying, I know a lot of people are asking for my opinion on Ballinrobe, and he puts under, your opinion is no better than, or he or she, your opinion is no better than anyone else's. Go out and get it again. Go out and do a day's work for yourself.
Do you know who Tim Minchin is?
Who?
Tim Minchin. He's a comedian and he's an artist. Really, he's a genius. He's from Australia. long hair. He plays piano. He's fucking amazing. He goes, opinion, like, obviously there's a famous saying that opinions are like assholes, that everyone has one.
Yes, yes.
But he
Pete
goes,
loves that
he
saying.
says, um, where opinions differ from assholes, you should check your opinions daily and thoroughly,
Yes, 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 yes.
unlike assholes.
And who said about politicians should be changed as regular as diapers for the same
Same
for the
reason.
same
they're
reason.
shite.
Yeah. So actually, Kent probably doesn't know about Ballinrobe. So you fill him in while I'm looking for this.
Yeah. So, but in
Thanks,
obviously
James.
with there with the amount of immigration that's come into the country through asylum seeking, there's been a number of incidents across the country where there have been rumors of who is going to go into, say, hotels that have closed down, or large houses that have maybe moved to more hostile sort of living. And basically in Ballinrobe there is an old hotel that they had renovated a little bit up to a standard where they were going to put 50 males into housing there in what's
Yeah.
almost like
50 single
50s.
migrants,
they yeah
foreigners.
so
But they were, the thing is, yeah, go on. That's basically.
the obviously Ballinrobe, much like Swinford, a small town, and
Actually, very
they're
similar to Swinford.
very similar. Yeah, similar population
Yeah.
sizes, similar kind of like. I think the concerns there were around, having 50 extra males that probably technically couldn't contribute to society.
No, they were going to be on €38
yeah
a week.
So
50 single males in a 12 bedroom,
yeah
a 12 bed, not a 12 bedroom, a 12 bed
yeah.
hotel.
So look, there was concerns there, and people have their concerns. That's fine. I would have concerns about, well, if they
And it was
are going to
beside,
Ballinrobe-
and it was 2 doors down from a creche.
yeah. So now look, there may have. Let's be honest here. Nothing may have happened.
Nothing may have happened. That is 100%.
Yeah, and
But also, and no one could say that anything could have happened. But also on the flip side, my point is, on the flip side of that, something could have happened, and the fear of that, especially when it comes to
but like
mothers, these could be the 50th finest men that ever God blew breath into.
Yeah.
But you just don't know.
So, but like that's life in general. Look, at the end of the day, what they've done now is they're going to take 50 young women,
families, women and kids,
and put them into that
into that accommodation instead.
Emergency accommodation.
But that was after
now,
a protest, and the people of Ballinrobe
coming out
in force.
One thing I will say is there have been 3 properties in Ireland that have been burnt down on the rumors that they were going to be. One, wrongly so.
Yeah.
Where a place in South Dublin was not Port Rand. It was in South Dublin. This hotel was burnt down because it was going to because the rumor was that migrants were going to be housed in there.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. It was going to be emergency accommodation for people that are on the streets in Dublin.
Yeah, 100%. And I don't agree with burning down any accommodation or any building. That's cutting off your nose to spite your face. It is like putting the doorbell of the house on the inside. It's not worth a fuck.
Yeah.
Do what Ballinrobe did. That was a proper way of doing it. They fought for what they believed in.
They went through people power, and
people
went out in the streets, and they put pressure on their local TDs.
Yeah.
So, but like you can't have like, look, there's lots of people online and they might be trolls, but like a lot of people online saying that, well, look, this is because they're being forced upon that people. You can't burn down a building.
No. Then it's no good to anyone.
And at the end of the day, those 50 migrant men will have to be housed somewhere in this country until something is done with them.
Yeah.
Like so whether we like it or not, we have to find a system that gets to helping these people that have come in emergency situations, whether they're right or wrong to be here is a different conversation.
Yeah.
But you look at it, you just have to think that
But my thing on this, and
the
I think we can.
trolls that attacked the girl that was leading some of these protests about this situation, they're fucking disgusting too.
Yeah, of course they are. But I think we'll both agree on this, that things would be made a lot easier if there was a more communication with the communities that these people are being brought to and being dumped on. And I don't like to use that word, but they are being dumped, and it's no good for them either. Like they land in a hostile environment. The people of Ballinrobe were given one working day's notice that this was going to happen.
Yeah.
Right? And all they knew was there was 50 single males.
Yeah, 100%.
And it was not, as it proved, there was nothing to do with them being Eastern, Middle East, or Far East, or Near East, or whatever. There's nothing to do with their skin color. It was nothing to do with that at all.
But then, if you look online, the rhetoric around it is different. The rhetoric around immigration is different. You can't the people on the street. Like, look, there was one video where was it Eileen Magner from RT was on the street to talk to some of the protesters or whatever, and was getting accosted by this fella who was saying, "You've been lying to us for years. You've been lying to us for years.
Yeah.
Why should we talk to you now?" And I was just like, well, she's just out there to talk to someone.
Yeah. I mean,
and get their
some
opinion.
people just want to be heard, and empty vessels will always be the loudest.
100%. So and what's he doing? He's got using his phone to video her reaction.
Yeah.
So she can react. She
Yeah.
can have a conversation.
No. I mean, yeah, there has to be a little bit of decorum on both sides.
One thing I just want to go to this comment by Siobhan Ryan. It goes, they've moved them to Carlo lads protests here today. They say it's actually women and children now. Let's see what happens. Like this is the problem. These men are going to have to be housed somewhere.
But they shouldn't be
Now,
brought in.
Maybe not in a block like that.
They shouldn't be brought in the first place when there's no accommodation.
yeah.
There's no
Look,
housing.
it's a failure of government.
It's a complete failure of government. It's not their fault.
Oh.
It's not their fault. Now, I'd like to think you'd love to think that they're all here to create a better life. Some of them have different.
But it is the Irish people's
plans.
fault.
For
The
voting
Irish
in the
people
government.
choose the government.
But the problem is, Chris,
And I
that
know things have changed since the last election, but
they have. But the problem is, there's no unless you go independent these days, and there's just not enough independent. It's the way it's the system. It's the system that's set up.
Like what does a bunch of independents do? You can't have a party of independents.
I know.
That's nonsense.
I know. We need a knight in shining armor. You never know. I might even put on that armor myself someday.
Well,
But anyway,
that would be a worry.
Kent says €38 a week. Shite. Exactly. That was the point.
Well, like the thing is, we were on this podcast talking with Morris, and fucking he was and you were complaining that they were on €220 people, and they were all coming for that reason. So they're not coming for that reason.
Well,
now.
these for some reason were only on some sort of different scheme. A lot of them are on over €200 and having free accommodation.
But no, they've changed that.
Have they?
They changed that before Christmas. So
all right. Okay. Well,
these ones
I didn't know that, and at the time it was 200.
These ones that have arrived in the last.
But the thing is, they shouldn't be brought in at all unless there's a proper plan for them.
But like it's in the.
Hold on a second. Let me finish. Let me
Okay.
finish this. Let me finish this. The idea with €38 a week is that these lads will be up in Ballinrobe. They won't have a job. There's 50 of them sleeping in 12 beds.
Yeah.
Okay, which is wrong to start off with. They're going to be out on the streets. They're not going to stay in the rooms. They're going to be out in the streets, going around with €38. They'll get frustrated, which is human nature.
Yeah.
Just because they're from fuck knows where Stan, and that doesn't matter. If they were from Blackrock in Dublin, and they had only €38 a week hanging around Ballinrobe, you're not going to be too happy about it, and frustrations will boil over. You'll get into all sorts. There's temptation there is to get by any means possible, and that's just human nature. And people were saying, oh well, these 50 people, these could improve Ballinrobe. They're not going to turn Ballinrobe into any Las Vegas with €38 a week.
Well, fuck no.
So it's wrong on both sides.
But the argument before Christmas was that people were coming here for the 220
Yeah.
euro a week,
Yeah.
and now it's like, well, they can't have money to live on. It's direct provision.
But remember as well that they're getting everything else paid for as well. Medical card,
Yeah, but
accommodation.
like anyone that's on the dole can apply for that. That's
Yeah,
nothing
but
new.
you shouldn't be able to just walk in and get on it.
See,
Like
but
I'm not able. If I went on the dole, I'd have to wait.
But like, yes, all
But
of
anyway, listen, we won't go down that route on this one. Read a few
No.
more of them comments out, but anyway, I'll read out what I said about Ballinrobe, right? And this was after they were still protesting and they had stopped the 50 men coming in, or they were stopping the 50 men coming in a peaceful process and in a dignified manner. So my text on it was, because I'd only after hearing it, and I was a bit late to the game because, as I said, I was in Wicklow with the boys, and I tried to stay off social media and the news. So what I said was, the people of Ballinrobe showing what can be done when a community come together. Mayo people and indeed Irish people are and have been more than welcoming to people from all over the world, but the Irish government are taking the people's hospitality and generosity for granted, and the more they do, the stronger the pushback will become, which I do believe. When people fear for their safety and the safety of their community, there will inevitably be a resistant reaction. That's not far right, that's wanting right done by. It's human nature, pure and simple, and no one will show you more nature than an Irish mother wanting to protect her family. And that's exactly what's happened. It's nothing to do with racist. It is nothing to do with, it is just the way communities, especially mothers in Ireland or in any country, will
well, look,
react.
50 men in a town change
A small
the
town.
demographic. A small
Yeah.
town changes the demographic and
Yeah.
the way things operate. Anyway, 38 euro a week is not enough to live on.
No.
So what? So and the other side of it is,
No, I'm sure they're
plans
getting their
for
food. They're getting their food and everything paid for. So I don't know what the 38 euro is for, but obviously everyone should be entitled.
dehumanizing because
Yeah.
it's actually worth fucking.
Yeah,
nothing.
exactly. You were as well off give them nothing
Yes.
as 38 euro and just pay for everything.
That 38 euro is exactly what direct provision was for years.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was
It's
wrong.
it's direct provision, but instead of being in a like a centre, you're in the town.
Yeah,
you
but
know,
like then.
to cause
but then you're saying-
and the potential to cause trouble.
But the problem is the dole is too much. The direct provision is not enough. And then it's like,
But the
the problem is
100%.
that there's no integration. The plans for
But what I don't
integration-
get is how these people aren't put to work, and I'm sure
there's
that,
loads of work,
but there isn't. There's an awful lot of them that they're not allowed to work.
but they're not allowed to work because they're here as a refugee.
Yeah.
They're not here on a work
So
permit.
if I just don't get it. I just don't get
There's
how
there
they're
should
how they're
be-
just put here with no
Plan.
no plan.
Yeah.
No plan, no
But that,
incentive
again,
to do
it goes
anything,
back
no
to
incentive
failure
to
of
get
government.
into failure of government. There's no plan to get integrated in. Now, I don't know if some of them would. A lot of some of them wouldn't. But in saying that, there's a lot of Irish people that if you ask them to get a job, that they wouldn't
Fucking
either.
Good luck.
So, but the thing is, they're Irish and they were born here, so that's just the way it is.
But like at the end of the day, we've got we've a country. Our biggest issues, fucking these issues are going back since I was a child. Housing, since the early mid 2000s, has been an issue.
Massive issue.
They-
A
and it's
lad,
ne-
a lad,
in the
a
last
lad
10 years
yesterday,
now.
last night, died on the streets of Dublin from a homeless dude.
Yeah.
I don't know the circumstances to it, but of course that made national news. I don't know if the lad was Irish or foreign. And there's a case to be made that there's a lot of foreign nationals homeless as well, and there is,
Yeah.
there is, of course. But the
Like-
thing is, the problem is we have enough homeless people on the streets of our own kind. We don't need to be adding to it. And I know that
But like
sounds
our problem in trying to house people is fucking vast. There's thousands of
massive,
people
massive.
in emergency accommodation.
It's crazy,
And
and there's
they-
so many derelict buildings as well. That's another thing.
It actually annoys me.
It sickens me.
It actually really.
There's hotels
really
that were built in the Celtic Tiger because
Yeah.
there was tax incentives to buy these or to build these monstrosities of buildings, hotels. Some of them as ugly as factories,
Yeah.
just to build them up, and they've been left there. Finish them off to fuck.
There's loads of them.
Put the homeless in. You know, put on a system. Have someone in there running it.
But like all of those have to be adapted with schemes to make them upskill.
Upskilling.
Like and
integrate people properly.
Facilities to deal with addiction issues.
Yeah.
Or mental health issues.
Yeah.
Like one thing that came out when that lad died the last night in Dublin, on the streets of Dublin, there was plenty of beds in emergency because it was so cold. They produce extra hostel beds, so people don't have to sleep on the streets for the night.
Mm-hmm.
Wherever they put, but if that's the case, they should fucking be always available. I don't understand how they don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
But they're in a situation now where if there's a cold snap and people are on the streets, they try and get them indoors, which is the right thing to do. This fella probably didn't want to go indoors. He's probably worried about the conditions of the hostels that he'd be going into. Maybe he fell out with other people that were also on the street and he felt his life was in danger. So he took his chance on the street and then he fucking dies on the street.
Yeah.
Like, this is not like all of these issues, the healthcare system, what's happening in Limerick at the moment in the healthcare system is just beyond barbaric. What's happening in Castlebar, not good enough. The hospitals are atrocious. Then you have
and it's nothing to do with
housing issues.
It's nothing to do with the doctors and nurses. They work tirelessly, and I can testify to that.
Is this cycle of bouncing from one crisis to another crisis to another crisis, and nothing
firefighting all the time.
So it's like a constant distraction. And look, at the end of the day, Ballinrobe, they stood up for themselves against
they did.
what they.
So we might as well finish how it ended up, because we left it in such a way that these people weren't allowed in the 50 single males. So they came to and another reason was the government didn't have no consultation with the community or whatever bodies were involved. They were just going to be landed there. So when they did consultate with the community and discuss it and get around the table or whatever, the phone or whatever, they came to the conclusion that they were going to fill it with 50 family members, not obviously from the same family. That would be a bit weird. But families, like kids, mothers, and maybe the odd father in there as well. I don't know. But it's a little bit more palatable to take. And they were welcomed in, and they will be welcomed in.
But like, again, how these plans are, like, look, it just feels like they're so half-arsed.
Oh, it's all half-arsed. But that's all because Europe are putting pressure on Dublin.
Yeah.
And they're caving in. They're just, take them in. They don't know what. They don't know how to
at the same
fight
time,
back. There's no strong leadership.
Poland have taken in 1 million Ukrainians.
Right.
Because they're the closest country.
Yeah, of course.
So, wait, look. There's no easy answers to any.
There's no, and also, there is no utopia either. You're never going to fix it 100%. There's always going to be a grey area where it's not right. That's including the health system. That's including the housing crisis. That's including cost of living. But there has to be some sort of balance.
The healthcare system, like, I remember when they had Mary Harney in, one of the most unhealthy people in the country, running the health system.
I know, and they do that, and they've done that with, the school, the education, or the Minister for Education, and have no kids.
Yeah,
they put a Minister for Arts and Entertainment and all the rest and Culture that said he came out and said he didn't like music. They're just insane. A Minister for Transport that doesn't agree with transport.
He doesn't have. He cycles a bike. Great. James Curley asked, "Have we lost our sovereignty?" The thing is, we haven't lost our sovereignty, because at the end of the day, we have the ability to change what the laws are overnight. We could change the government. We could change laws. Irish people have control. You mightn't like the parties that are in government at the moment, and Ballinrobe might have protested against this government initiative. But who chose the government?
Yeah,
and
but
at the end of
Chris,
the day,
you choose what your candidates based on they're coming to the door, or you think that they're, and then of course they get to the door.
But
if
I guarantee
you just turn over.
I guarantee you, if you look at who was elected out of the TDs in Mayo, 4 of them were Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael, and 1 was Sinn Féin.
Yeah.
Right now, does that how
The thing is, Chris,
that will not change in Mayo?
well, the thing is,
Because-
if we vote, well, that's because it's the way it's set out in Mayo. But the thing is, if we vote the same pricks in again, well, then we've no one else to blame.
They
ourselves.
will.
But
And if you look at, and when you go back to the electorate and you go town by town, you look at what Ballinrobe will vote in the next election, guarantee you it'll be a Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael split.
well, it depends on
And
who's running up there.
then you go, well, what's the argument for you chose you chose the slave masters here?
Yeah.
Now
The
you might,
problem with elections is the government always wins anyway.
well, someone's gonna go in there. Look, I'm not saying that everything's a will
Go through some. So I'm still
there's
up here.
loads and loads.
Sophie, this happened in England in about 2020 or 2002. It was the government then under Blair to take attention away from their failings. People were furious, and there were far right people making mischief too. Of course there is, but in general,
But like,
most people aren't far right in Ireland anyway.
well,
Um,
at the end of the day, most of the media in England, when you look at all the red tops and where people
Yeah.
get their information from, Daily Mail and all that, they're just the Sun.
You're 100% right there, James, and this is my point, and this was completely the argument that I had about letting so many immigrants in. A lot of rural towns and villages don't have the proper infrastructure in place for local residents. Never mind, obviously, I presume for people coming in. But that's not just small towns. That's the
No.
same. That's the same for the cities as well. We do
I
not
thi- I
have
think-
the
I think-
infrastructure.
I think-
we don't have the infrastructure to
I
deal with
think
their own
what
homeless.
they need to do is create a. They like, obviously they don't have a plan, but there has to be a way of integrating the people that have, like, we have to start thinking of solutions, not just consistently look at the problems.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, 100%.
We have to, in each small town where there's immigrants that have migrants or immigrants or whatever you want to call it, that have come into this country, there should be kind of education centers
Mm-hmm.
and ways of integrating people and teaching people about the local history, the Irish history, stuff they need to know to integrate into society.
Yeah.
So you can discuss these things properly.
Yeah.
English classes.
Yeah.
Simple. You know,
Do it right. If
Yeah.
you're going to do it right. But I honestly think
That takes money as well.
sort out whoever is in. But apparently they're getting loads of money from Europe to do this.
yeah, but that'll be
So-
on emergency housing and stuff like that.
But anyway,
But like, it
so
has
sort
to be
out who's
going-
here first. Sort out our own homeless. Sort out our own
But
problems, and then
they'll never do that.
Well,
they need a
that's what needs to
crisis
be done.
they need a crisis to fight.
Yeah.
That creates legitimacy.
and another thing is, you're on about they need a crisis to do things. You want to see the centres popping up for vaccines and testing,
Yeah.
even in Castlebar when they really needed to. There was an
they-
extension onto the hospital that was put up in, I'd say, a week.
Yeah.
Everything got changed. So why can't they do that
Yeah.
when there's no crisis? Why can't they do that in
There-
general?
there's parts of Canada, there's city. I think there was a city in Canada that eradicated homelessness overnight, and crime levels dropped by something like 45%.
Yeah.
Once you take
Did you
away
know
people's
in
desperation.
Hungary, in Budapest, it's illegal to be homeless?
Yeah, but like,
Which I don't like. You're always going to have some sort of
yeah,
homelessness.
and your man that runs Hungary is hardly a beacon of light in this situation.
That is true. I don't know. I've been in
He's a
Budapest
bit of a
twice. Beautiful
dictator,
city.
like, you know.
Is he?
Yeah.
Brian O'Reilly, living in Spain. I was back home for Christmas, and so many people asked if I would move home. Sadly, it's a no. I don't think the government's priority is the protection of the people of Ireland. Well, there's two of us in that there, Brian. But before Chris pops a vein in his head, we won't get into that too much more.
Well, look. The people choose the government. So you know.
Well, again, it's about choice. Siobhan says 1 day notice for Carlo as well. You see, that's the
It's
problem.
not, yeah, it's not
It's
good.
not
enough.
good enough.
That's not that.
It's not good enough, and we both agree on that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Kent says not right indeed. I don't know what that particularly was about, but I agree with you anyway, Kent. Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael. This is from Sophie. Not much choice. Yeah, knight in shining armor, please. Yeah, we need about 20 knights in shining armor. Cardinal, yup sounds about like here in the States. That's exactly the crack they're up to. Yeah, it's universal at this stage. It is universal. Sophie, but these guys might be engineers, farmers. You don't know.
Yeah,
I'd
you
like
don't know.
I'd like to think so. I'd like to think so. If they were, they should be put to good use for themselves, not just. I don't mean like slave labor. An honest day's pay for an honest day's work. That will always be one of my mottos. Another one of my mottos is up the bum, no harm done. But that's a different type of motto. Sylvester, government is driven by Brussels. If I'm not wrong, all European countries has to bring specific number of immigrants to their countries. If they fail the immigrants, they will encounter problems. That is the general census, Sylvester. And I know that is it Polish? And you came over and you have a great life here, or I presume that you have a good life here, and you're more than welcome. You're integrated in, and that's what Irish people want. But they just don't like being shoehorned with 100,000 people that they haven't a clue who they are, what credentials they have, good or bad. Cardinal again. At the end of the day, what they were or supposedly were is irrelevant. It does nothing to change the actions and living situation right now. 100% Cardinal. What community are pure Irish? All mothers protect their children. Yes, of course. Sophie. I just use, because we're in Ireland, I say Irish mothers. All mothers in all cultures are very protective of their kids, and not just humans. You see it in the animal kingdom as well, and that's just human nature. Well, that's just nature in general. It's Mother Nature. There's a load of comments, Chris. How do we get so many comments without going through them?
We were chatting.
We were chatting away. What communities Ireland is around 95% Irish to take a guess there too. What communities Ireland is around 95% Irish? Would you say it's 95% Irish
Where?
in Ireland?
Yeah.
Would you? I'd
Fucking
say it'd be less than that.
Yeah, it is.
Camping mugs ordered. Do we
Well,
have
that's
camping
cool.
mugs?
We do.
Oh, very good. Like I said, I haven't fully gone through this. I didn't realize we had camping mugs. Oh, they're the
Camping
steel ones.
Yeah.
Class.
They
Yeah.
look cool.
Thanks very much, Avanza.
I just put another link in the chat there for anyone that hasn't seen the store. And if you would like to buy some new merch, that's there.
There's obviously a conversation here, which is great among ye. Cardinal and Kent and probably Sophie are having a conversation here, so that's why I don't understand what they're saying. So we will go down a little bit. Zoe says, "Dead hedgehogs, fair play, lads. Been listening since around Christmas. Wise men." Thank you very much, Zoe. We try to keep it common sense. And myself and Chris are not going to agree on everything, but then again, do you want people that agree on everything, or some
No.
people that will trash it out?
But like that's the other side of it. That
Trash it out.
you want to have a good hearty chat about it. And I'm always open to correction. I don't know everything, like far from it, like.
Yeah.
So I'll try and learn some things from you, and
Yeah,
hopefully
yeah.
that's the way.
And
same
vice
way.
versa. All day. I'll never admit it.
Your hair looks lovely, by the way.
Thanks, Chris.
I wouldn't
Yeah,
lie
you're right.
lie to you about that. No.
Siobhan says Carlo was hanging on by a thread. I could have told you that a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
So
but that's not because of the 50 immigrants that are coming to the
I
town.
say that in jest, of course. I had 2 shows in Carlo before the Christmas, actually.
I was there at one of them.
Yes, you were. You took part in one of them.
I did, surely.
Yeah, and you'll be taking part in a few more in 2024. Victor O'Brien is a great leader. Good Lord.
Victor Orban.
Orban.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
there we can agree to disagree. They famously far right.
Who's he?
Viktor Orban is the leader of Hungary.
Oh, okay. So he's a far right leader.
He got to power by
Zoe, the girl, was joking about the farmers and engineers. I kind of gathered that, but
yeah.
we glossed over it. Wow, there's so many. Oh no, she was not joking. They might be. Good or bad. Fair enough.
They might be. Like,
Well,
this
they could
thing,
be. I'm a bit late. Whoops. No worries, Pierce. I don't know where I am at the minute myself. Oh, easy, girls. Don't be fighting. There's enough negativity in the world. Wiki says Ireland in 2022 is 76% Irish. That seems very low.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
So
look,
I don't know what it is. That seems
I
very low.
would have said
That's-
about 85%.
Yeah, that's where I would have thought. But yeah, I thought 95% is probably too high.
Yeah.
But 75% seems very low. But we'll figure it out. We will figure it out.
We'll go down to Pierce. How are you, lads? I'm 24, graduated college in November after 4 years, and I'm leaving Ireland to go to America to work and gain experience. Any advice? Am I too old? Is Ireland fucked?
No,
You're definitely not too old.
no, and no.
Yeah, like, Ireland is not fucked. Ireland
no.
Ireland is,
It's
in-
still a great country.
and
We just don't want it not to be a great country.
yeah, look, in reality, there's problems that need to be
Yeah,
fixed.
But there's bigger problems in America.
yeah, there's problems in every country.
Yeah.
You can't go anywhere. You look at
And America,
look
don't
at-
get me wrong, America is unreal.
our closest neighbor, the UK, has
Big problems.
their prime minister is a hedge fund manager, who's practically a billionaire,
Yeah.
who has
Billionaire.
he's what, 800 million in the bank?
Completely far removed from
So
day-to-day
far
living.
removed from normality, and like, yet they've put him in power.
Yeah.
It's shocking.
It's like
He doesn't give a fiddler's fuck about the British
not a
people.
notion.
So now the other he and who's the
How
other
could he?
guys?
How could he?
He's so far. How could he? It's like Trump. Trump doesn't give a fuck about the average American.
Do you think not? I
Couldn't
actually
give
I
a
actually
fiddler's fuck.
generally believes
cares
that
about
in his
Trump.
head he believes he wants the best for. Now I could be wrong.
No.
I don't like the way he goes on about business.
So
But
he's failed at business.
well, about as in his business on his but some of the things that he done were on the right track.
Yeah, look.
others-
At
but
the
he
end
just
of the
went
day,
about
he
it the
gave
wrong
a
way.
lot of handouts to a lot of billionaires.
Yeah, well, again, I think they all do that, and that's the problem.
That is a big.
That is a
problem.
massive problem. There was a little bit. Oh yeah. So listen, was it Pierce? Pierce, travel as much as you can.
Enjoy it.
As Avanza said here, she will tell you. Avanza's from South Africa, living in Ireland, integrated well into Ireland. She is the perfect example of how you do it. So yeah, get out to America, enjoy it, but don't be afraid to come back if you don't like it.
Yeah.
Ireland is still a great country. We just don't want it not to be a great country. And you will notice when you go to America that there'll be a lot of things that you'll miss from Ireland. You'll notice that Ireland do a lot of things as good as, if not better, than the Americans. Our people are probably a little friendlier in general
Where?
in Ireland.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, again, you're in among your own as well. We're a very welcoming country, and that's why I hate to see such division in it. And I'll
Yeah,
always
but
I'll always stick up for Ireland
You will, to a fault almost.
to a fault. Yeah.
You
So
know?
yeah. So yeah, that's my advice. Get over to America.
Enjoy
24.
yourself. Like,
The
look,
Lord may save us. You'll be literally, you'll be floating around in
lovely
love,
tits.
yeah, and juices of all different types. Whatever you fancy in America, that will happen. It's a great country.
It is.
It is a great country.
Travel is the one thing that'll blow
Oh
your
yeah,
mind.
100%. It's better than being in school. You learn more in that than you will in school. So where am I there? Avanza travel. I work at Big Opera School Transport Ireland demand an increase in 20% in a year as a direct result of immigration, finding it hard to cover routes and to find drivers keep up with the work. Yeah, you see, that's another thing. We don't have the infrastructure. We don't have the people, enough people in doing the jobs like this, and this is my argument as well. We don't have the proper infrastructure. We don't have the proper people to deal with this. We just don't have enough of what we need. and I'd welcome the world in if we did, but we don't, and that's always going to cause problems. But we'll skip on from that. I know Kent wants to get on to the gi, and I will talk about the gi now. We'll wrap it up fairly quick. I was at your gig in November, Cowboy. Had a great crack with Toast after the show. We missed you in Claremars over the flu. Was that the last show in... Oh, yes, Siobhan. We had you on the guest list. Yes, he noticed that you didn't come all right. That was good. That was in the Talbot. Yeah, that was a good show. It wasn't our biggest crowd, but I tried out a few new things in Carlow. The problem with that show was I kind of left it in the back burner, and I didn't promote it an awful lot. And I don't know why I didn't. We had a couple of bigger shows lined up, and I should have pushed it more because the people that did come, it was great crack. They were a great audience, and yeah, we give it socks that night. Tried out a few new different things. But thank you very much, Siobhan. Get to the next one. And yes, you did have the crack with Pete or French Toast after the show. It took him I'd say about 5 weeks to get over it. So what stays in Carlow, what happens in Carlow stays in Carlow. So where are we here?
I just want Pierce's comment there. I understand there's issues no matter where you go, but as a young person looking for work and to start life is discouraging
in this country at the minute.
Yeah, and to be honest, right, I think a lot of that's down to social media as well. They would be really discouraging looking at this country through the lens of social media.
Yeah, you have to think for yourself as well. You know, you have to. You look at social media. Take out what you.
There's great opportunities in this country. There's
you think so?
Amazing opportunities in this country at the moment. There's fucking loads.
There might be for jobs, but then you'll be stuck for accommodation. The major problem with Ireland is accommodation.
Accommodation, yeah. 100%.
It is the downfall of everything. You might have a great job in Dublin. You might have a great job in Galway. You might have a great job in fucking
anywhere,
Halfscraw or Ballinasloe, and if you can't get a house to stay in, you're wasting your time.
Yep.
So that's a major issue.
That it's the one thing that affects
and the cost of living.
Every family.
And the cost of living. It's
cost
very
of living
expensive.
is through the roof.
Yeah, through the roof. Like everything has gone up in price. Everything has just gone through the roof. And it's going up like in front of your eyes. Like you go to a shop now and you'll get nothing. You won't get nothing for €50.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing. So bring back the punt is what I say. We should never have left.
Just want to say, don't be fighting in the chat.
Yeah, go easy, girls.
Like
go easy.
It's just
we'll do the fighting out here.
Yeah. As Zoe wants to know, obviously she said that I'm a clown for using the term far right. There's a definition of far right. It's ultra nationalist. It's authoritarian, and it's about having a dictator in charge. And that's what I was saying about Viktor Orban. He is an ultra nationalist.
Yeah, I don't know enough about him. And like I said, went to Budapest. Beautiful city. Absolutely gorgeous city.
At the end of the day,
so clean as well.
We're not going to be changing anything in this podcast except maybe changing our own minds.
Yeah.
Learning a bit off you guys.
And I hope, learning off you, and I hope that you're learning from us as well and each other. So like there's a bit of an argument going on here in the comments. We're not going to get into it.
Yeah.
But just go easy on each other. There's enough negative energy and there's enough negative things happening in the world. I'm going to Boston and basically a mini Ireland. Yes, Pierce.
Yeah.
Boston is
You'll have
incredible.
Great crack.
I would move to Boston in the morning.
I
would go to
I
New
don't know
York.
if I'd live there for. I'd much rather live in New York.
I have family out there as well. Would you?
Yeah.
I would. What I would do is I would
get excited when I'm in New York.
I would live. I know I get excited too. Probably too excited.
Yeah, I know.
That's why I'm saying I don't sleep when I'm in New York at all.
Yeah.
Like not even for an hour.
City that never sleeps.
So for that reason, I would move to Boston, live in Boston, and then go up to New York on a Friday evening and come back down again.
Come Friday, Thursday afternoon.
Yeah. Yeah. Like some of the stories that I could tell you about in New York, going out for dinner at 4:00 and not coming home until 9 o'clock the next morning.
Yeah, that
That's
stuff
but that's a regular thing.
I remember when I woke up on the A line on the way up to the Bronx, and I had lost my shoes.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but
Well,
it was
I can
9 o'clock
imagine.
in the morning, and I was like, "Oh God damn it, I lost my shoes! Someone's obviously stole them off me while I fell asleep on the fucking train."
No way.
Yeah,
Oh my
they
god.
weren't flashy or anything, but you know.
But you see, the thing is, no one will pay any
So
attention in New York.
I was
Absolutely no
absolutely
attention.
stocious.
Yeah.
I stretched out along 4 seats,
Yeah.
and I had my feet up like this, and someone had taken my shoes.
Well, I think I've told this in the podcast before. I went out for a drink with my uncle Tom, who was an absolute legend. If you think I'm a lunatic, he's off the charts altogether. um, so we went out for a drink. I think it was Sunday morning, and this is Tuesday morning. Like we just kept going from bar to bar. Like I said, the city that doesn't sleep. So many things, so many things happened in them 2 days. Um, and I woke up on the Tuesday morning on Queens Boulevard, and there was a little green patch outside a window outside a house, like really small, just enough the size of a grave. And then there was a bit of a bush, and then there was another patch outside the next window, and the size of a grave as well. He was asleep there. I was asleep there. I was asleep in the other patch. Two of us kind of got up at the same time, so I'm presuming that
You were
something-
cuddling, were you?
no, we were in two different patches. So I'm presuming that maybe like a bin lorry came with the beep 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 or whatever and woke us up, because we both woke up at the same time. And I had been wearing this really big belt that I bought in Chinatown. Right, it was massive. It was so big that I couldn't fit it into the loops of my jeans. But it was so class. I was going wearing it around my waist anyway, so it looked like it was on my jeans.
Yeah.
It wouldn't even fit into my leather trousers, loops, and they were massive. But it was gone. It was gone. It's the only thing. Yeah,
no.
it was stolen. It was the only thing that was gone, and had big metal sort of buckles on it all the way around.
Fuck.
Yeah, it was class. I was going through my. I thought I was the reincarnation of Jim Morrison there for a couple of years.
You were those leather pants. They were a thing of beauty.
They
weren't
they were
tight
unreal.
like Jim would wear. If anything, they
No,
were a little
no.
oversized.
They were way oversized.
They
were way oversized. As big as at the biggest I ever was, they were still way too big
massive
for
on
me.
you, yeah.
I just went into like a leather shop, and Wilson's. I'm pretty sure. I think
How
it was a
many
chain.
cows were that?
I think it was a chain. Wilson's. Kent, you might be able to help me out on this. And I went in and bought the leather trousers. I paid $400 for them, and I bought this leather hat as well. The leather hat was cool. No, I wore that a little bit more than the leather trousers, and I wore I think I got a leather waistcoat as well. But the leather hat came in handy when I was in New York. Actually,
Yeah.
it did. But yeah, New York is crazy. Boston is unreal. It's like a bigger version of Galway.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful in the middle. There's lovely
It's a
places
lov-
to
it's a
run
lovely
around.
City, of course.
Beautiful, and it like
New York is cool as well, though. It's like
oh yeah, it's
like
too cool,
yeah,
too cool for school.
That's it.
Like you need lots of money in New York too.
Oh God,
Yeah,
imagine.
lots of money. So I know I mentioned on the stories that we talked a little bit about Gaza. I think we've
I
had
think we
enough
should hold that
heavy
for-
stuff.
Yeah.
Heavy stuff. So we'll finish off on the controversy that I caused yesterday, doing a sketch that just popped into my head,
Yeah.
and I thought it was like a fun thing, and it's doing well on the socials and everything. That's great. Keeps the pages going, and that's what we rely on, the pages to sell tickets to the live shows. But it was about Fanuary. I made up this thing of Fanuary instead of dry January.
Yeah.
That women don't shave their geese for the month of January. And I made up
And
this spiel about it.
you'd
about
be a
having long
strong
hair.
proponent of this.
Well, listen, there's nothing wrong with a good hairy fanny.
No. far
and,
from
and,
it.
I, and I have a big section. of my live set.
Dedicated to all the hairy fannies of your
and
life.
it's a good. It's one of the strongest jokes I have. In fact, it goes. I've advanced now. I've changed it to 3, and I may even 3 jokes, one after another. They say a good joke should come in 3s.
Yeah.
The start, the beginning, and then the twist at the end.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I have this set up now for about 6 different twists. But we'll develop that into the show for 2024.
Love it.
But a lot of people got the joke. I put it up very late at night, and that wasn't because I thought it was a little bit out there. It was because I just didn't get time during the day. I'd already put up a video earlier on in the day, one of my usual type of videos, and I thought I wanted to do something different. So I put up this video, about a minute and 5 seconds long. If I was to do that video on stage or something like that, I would drag that out for about 3 or 4 minutes. That's the difference between doing social media and doing live show stuff.
Yeah.
You get time. It's all about timing on stage. It's all about timing on social media as well. But you have to bang,
faster
bang,
pace,
bang,
yeah,
faster
yeah.
pace, and that's what you have to understand. The difference between the live shows and social media stuff as well. But an awful lot of people were like, "Oh, you used to be funny." These were people that had commented on the previous video. You're hilarious, right?
Were they right?
Like
Talk about poking the bear.
how could I turn not funny in the space of 6 hours?
I've seen you do it in 6 minutes.
Yeah, it was mental. Some people said unfollowed, and then I checked them just there. They're still following the page. Don't know what that was about.
Do you know
One
what you
lady,
should-
one lady
do you
got
know what you
really
should do,
upset
right?
about it.
They'd be
Oh
like,
no, sorry, it wasn't ladies. It was men.
yeah.
It
It's
was
all-
men that got involved.
So all the problems for a nice January was from men.
Yeah. Although there was one lady on Facebook that don't know what she's doing on Facebook, because not only
Oh,
did she.
Kent, you're the man.
Thank you so much, Kent.
Fucking lovely, fucking hurling.
Super
What a
chat
man.
there. Thank you so much, Kent.
He's a real fan of January.
He is. He likes January more than I do.
I love it.
And I think I'm going to continue January into February as well. It'll work the same.
Yeah.
January, February, January. But anyway, we'll talk about that in a few minutes. Thank you so much, Kent.
Pubery.
Pubery. Very good.
Wow.
There's a video for next month. So
This is the highbrow comedy section.
highbrow. We'll finish it off on a lighter note. So this lady really goes to town on me on Facebook, right? She says, "Who is this clown?" Remember, she's on my page.
Your page, yeah.
Right? She's on my page. She's following the page. Who is this clown? Right? And I just went. I left it till the morning, and I just text. I just text. Oh, he's the lad that knows. No, I'm writing this about myself.
Yeah.
He's the lad that knows. Be the way that I always finish off the videos. You know.
Yeah.
And next thing, a couple of people started attacking her. Not attacking her, but making fun of her. The fact that, what are you doing on the page if,
Yeah.
And then she comes back, she starts attacking them, but she was vicious,
Deadly.
right? So then I just
Can we read out the comments? 'Cause that sounds fun.
Then I just put in. I take it you're not a fan of January. I forget her name now, but we'll get it.
January's I think it could be a national
I think it could be too.
national holiday for the month.
I think it could be great.
An appreciation of lovely fannies.
Let me see now. So then she starts attacking the other people. You must be sad if you find this fella funny. And
Nice.
she seems like a really nice character.
I like it.
Christina is her name. I'm not going to mention her second name.
James Curley goes, Cowboy and Chris, ye should. I lost there. Oh, you should travel to Cuba. Could be mad crack.
What can you imagine
I
us
would.
out in Cuba?
I would. Well up for that.
Well up for that.
Love to go there.
Well up for that. You must. Have you any experience out there? Tell us more. So I go. He's the lad that knows. Then she has a comment here, but sometimes the comments, Facebook won't let you see some of the comments. So she's obviously said something else, and I go, Christina, not a fan of January then. And that got a great reaction. Someone else says, don't watch. Personally, I feel a little bit in love with them. Thanks very much. Thanks very much, Linda. Lizzie goes, Christina must have already waxed. So where's her responses?
She hardly deleted them.
She could have deleted them. But it says here there's 11 comments and I only see 3. Why is that, Chris?
I don't know.
Go to the Facebook and under the video you'll see you'll see the comments. I don't know why it's not showing up here. I can only see 4.
Siobhan Ryan goes, you can't be bald, you can't be hairy. Someone's gonna always be mad. May as well embrace the bush.
Embrace the bush.
I'm all for it.
Free
the
them up.
bush.
Either way, listen, all
Whatever
women's
makes you happy.
all women's geese are beautiful, whether there's hair around them or not. I can't believe
Most women's geese are beautiful.
I can't. All women's geese are beautiful.
Most. So there's some of them
Do you
aren't
think
great.
that? Yeah.
I've seen a few.
Okay.
Gotta be honest, and some of them have been a bit,
Scary.
yeah, worrisome.
Yeah. I've
Didn't stop me.
I've so many jokes I can go there, but I'm not going to go there. I'm going to save them for the live show, and they're absolutely class. So get to a live show as well if you can. I'm going to do a whole segment on hairy fannies,
Lovely.
and that's no joke. That is no joke. And speaking of live shows, we've only 2 live shows, with $3 left announced so far. Limerick is very close to being sold out, which is great. It's a beautiful room. If you're down around Limerick, there's only a handful of tickets left, and I'm not just saying that.
That'll be good fun.
We have a show in Mallow in April. Now I think there's only like 50 tickets gone. It holds 300 and something. I'm not concerned yet. There's 4 months down the line. I'm doing 3 shows with Alan Clark. I don't even think he's announced me on the roster yet, but I think it's widely known that it'll be me and Garen. We're going to be doing Sligo. We're going to be doing Galway, and we're going to be doing Dublin over the next few months. They're completely sold out, which is fantastic. I'm actually going to be doing a little bit as well on my own, or headlining in Sligo with the comedy festival. I don't think I've announced that yet, but that's a very small room, and that will sell out very quickly.
That'll be fun.
Next week, I'm down with Fred Cook again in Kerry. We're going to be in Castle Gregory on the Thursday. That is slow enough to start to sell, but apparently Fred says they don't buy it to the last week. I think it's only at something like 33% sold. That's fine. If Fred's not worried, I'm not worried. Dingle, I think earlier on today there was only 7 tickets left for Dingle on the Friday night. Unbelievable. And Tralee is well on its way to being sold out as well, and that's a big room. So looking forward to
And who's going to be in Kerry with you?
Fred Cook, and there's another lad as well. Forgive me, I've forgotten his name.
And
you coming with me? Yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry. I just presume everyone knows that you come with me everywhere.
Sure, why not?
Everywhere bar the bathroom.
And
most of the
even
time.
sometimes.
Yeah. Huey, fair play, lads. Great chat. Where did that go? Fair play, chat. I may go back to shuttering and shield fixing over here in Vancouver.
Why not?
We will be over to Canada. We're getting a big followership in Canada. We're definitely going to be over
We're going
in
to
Canada.
store out. We're going to
America,
make some
Canada.
big announcements this year.
Yeah, massive
Next couple of
announcements.
weeks.
We are in the process of lots of things. The UK as well. Birmingham, March. We'll talk all about that again. Sheila and the gig job. Yes. Stay green, pony boy. A lot of people won't know what Sheila and the gig is about. What day is Sheila and the gig again?
I'm not sure.
It's a celebration of the woman's fanning, basically. Is what it is. It's an Irish thing. It's a pagan feast day or something.
Sure is.
Most Kent goes most, and with a cryy face, I'm presuming you're on about women's nice area. Great spot, Kent. You love it. Fair play for sending the lads the touch. Yeah, thank you very much, Kent, as well. You have not announced Sligo, but I'll be there. Yeah, I don't think it's announced yet. Like I said, it's going to be a small room, and I'm doing Anderson's, but that's sold out. When is that? That's in February.
Is that February, is it?
Yeah, that's February. I'm going to be in Galway on the 25th of this month, and then we're in Limerick on the 26th.
Yeah.
Yes, myself and 3 other lads travelled around Cuba for 17 days. A town called Trinidad in south of the country. Deadly. Is that like anything with Trinidad and Tobago?
Well, Trinidad's an island on its own.
Yeah.
But
so
like
there's obviously a place in Cuba called Trinidad.
Cuba called Trinidad. Yeah, sounds like something that would be done. You still chat with Only Cans fella? Yeah. What's his name?
Declan.
Declan. Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't
Xander's
talked to him
gone.
in ages, but I must get on to him again when we get down to Tipperary for a show. 100%. As always, gents, West Coast, USA. It is a beautiful, beautiful spot. It really is. It really is. It's great crack. €38 a week Avanza goes, then they will break into homes and houses here in Ireland. Has no steel bars in the windows, no steel safety gates. Check the break-ins has increased. Walk in the park here. Yeah, well, see, that's the fear. That is the fear of what's going to happen here, and whether it does happen or not is another thing. Vanza comes from South Africa, and I know that
May
has
have
a history.
informed her.
Yeah, has a
thinking of
history
that.
of what happens.
Shielding
so
the gig was the symbol of protection, I think, used on doors and portals, holes carved into stone.
that is right. There's a lot of hairy fannies symbols. It's actually, the symbol is a woman sort of bent down.
Down, yeah.
You bent down, exposing her gash with her hands.
Yeah.
That's the symbol.
You said that so politely and
I did.
beautifully.
Yeah.
Spreading her gash with her hands.
Yeah.
Your mother would be fucking appalled.
Well, that's
Fucking
the truth.
absolute
That's exactly
animal.
what it is.
You
If I had a picture,
that fucking blonde hair has gone to your fucking head.
if I had a picture of Sheen in a gig now, I'd show it.
For fuck's sake, man. You could have been a little bit more polite.
We must actually. Do you know what? We must get we might even get Avanza down for a podcast. I think she'd be very interesting. She is very cultured in both experiences. For a podcast.
What, spreading her gash?
No, you. Fuck's sake. The immigration.
Oh,
Hold on.
God.
Sheila na gig. Before we
We'll
finish.
become the immigration podcast to be fucking absolutely cuntish.
There she goes. Bring that up to the camera.
You bring up the camera.
The reason I'm
You
not
can
is
go.
because this thing is going to fall over
Oh,
for
hold
some
on.
strange reason. Okay. This is going to end the podcast. So we've been on long, Chris.
We've been on for ages, yeah. Watch where you're going. Yeah, you'll see now pull it back. Look, you're obviously showing nothing. No, because it's out of focus. Pull it back a bit. Use the focus on the camera. Yeah, that's Sheila Nagash. Guys, that's been our live podcast. And thank you very much for holding the flaps.
Holding the flap. Wide open.
It's a brilliant description, to be fair. Fucking
I was
holding her
right.
gash open.
I was
Fucking-
right. I was 100% right. Listen, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for Cardinal. Thank you so much to Kent for the super chats. Thank you so much to anyone who checked out the brand new
merch
store, which we will add to and add
I'll
to.
put one more
all
link
different
in
things.
if anyone wants to have a look at the merch. It's that. Sorry, I'm gonna die.
Don't die yet. Don't die until we finish this. I don't know how to turn it off.
Either way, right? Do you want to sign off?
Yeah. So thank you so much to everyone for tuning in. If you haven't already subscribed to the Dead Hedgehogs YouTube channel, please do. If you're watching this post live, please subscribe to the channel. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Till the next time, stay safe, stay healthy.
Stay away from yourself.
Good luck.